Hello. I'm going to do something a little bit different in this video. We're going to program a function in this video. And the thing is, you'll see right here it says TL handle, that's top left handle, BR handle, blah blah blah. And I add those to the stage. These two handles were in the corners, the opposite quarters of my app, and they were the resize handles. But I decided that I want to go ahead and make it to where you can resize from anywhere in the border area. So we're gonna redo this system. All I've done so far to kick this off is I've put this mouse over event on and told it that, you know, if there's a mouse over, to go to resize handler. So we got to start off by creating our resize handler function. Oops. I'm sloppy, man. Look, it's just a fact. Y'all had to get over that. All right. So up here we have this offset, and that offset is actually how thick the border is for the window. I don't want to have to make pictures and stuff like that and create bars that each individually have their own thing. We're literally going to just pop this off of the border, and we're going to do it by creating a virtual space, I guess you could say. So the first thing we need to do is create some variables. How about x less? It's going to be a boolean. We're not going to worry about what that equals just yet. We'll go ahead and turn this into an x more. Copy the whole thing. Well, no, we won't copy the whole thing yet. X less will be simple. That mouse event up there has a stage X for the mouse. So we'll capture that, and we're going to say if the stage X is less than the offset. Oops, offset had a thing. So now this means that if our current stage X is less than 4, right? Very simple. And then for the other way, we'll go if me stage dot, man, I can't, oh, well, that makes things a little easier, is greater than the native window dot stage width minus the offset. I'm using a laptop keyboard, and that's not really what I used to program with, but it's just too cumbersome to have everything going on for me to have my full-size keyboard as well. So I really don't suck as much at typing as it seems like I do. I'm just not really completely in my element at the moment. I don't really use the laptop keyboard that often, to be honest with you. And I'm just going to change all these to Ys and that to a height. And so now we have some facts. We've created some facts to go on. Now I only want this to happen if at least one of those facts is true. So we'll just say if x less or x more or y less or y more. This is a drag, man. All right, so now one of those is going to be true, or it's just not going to do any, you know, it's just going to skip this whole thing. So now we need to switch over mouse events and figure out which one we're in, because right now we only have mouse over, but we're going to have to add more in order for there to be some form of interaction here. So we capture that through mouse type, through type. And now we can create a case, and we'll say mouse event dot mouse over break. And because I'm going to need down and up, might as well just copy this because it's a lot faster than typing it. Hit it twice, turn this to an up, and this to a down. Or I could have went the other way. It doesn't matter what order it's in. Now, if the mouse is over, if we have a mouse over, I want to add the mouse down event. So we just simply say add event listener mouse event dot mouse down. Looks good. Comma resize handler, so we can tell it what to hit whenever we do a mouse down. So we got that taken care of. Now if the mouse is over, we also want to change the cursor. So we're going to say mouse.cursor equals mouse. I always do that. Mouse cursor dot. Man, I'm kind of disappointed with the amount of options I have here. You know, it'd be nice to have some like double arrows that have angles and all that, but this is what we got to work with. So this is what we're going to use. So we'll have the hand. Oh, and that reminds me, if for some reason we don't have any of those, then what we want to do is make sure that the mouse is what we expect it to be. So just copy that, paste it here, and of course I did that. Change this to arrow. So unless we're in this area here and something's going on, we're always going to have the arrow. So we've just taken our back on that. Now for mouse up, really we're just going to say remove event listener. Mouse event mouse up, comma, resize handler. Why won't I stupid? So that's pretty much all we have to do, but just for shits and giggles to make sure that we're like, you know, let's just go ahead and over-engineer this. We'll just go ahead and tell it to make sure it's the mouse arrow again. Alright, so now we mouse over, we add a mouse down event. If we do mouse over, we change the type of the cursor, and then when in mouse down, we're going to have to add event listener. Add the mouse up event listener. Oh, and resize handler. So we can do that, and I'm not sure. I mean, I guess there's no harm in just saying, I'm sorry, remove event listener. We'll go ahead and remove the mouse down listener since we're using it, and that way try and be as optimal as possible here. Alright, so now I think we've pretty much juggled all of the listeners. If it's a mouse up, it removes itself, mouse down removes itself and adds mouse up. Yeah, I think we've done all the listeners. So now we're going to create another switch statement inside the mouse down, because this is where all the action is going to happen. And we're going to say switch true. In other words, whichever one of these options becomes true. And then for the case, first we're going to start off if x less and y less. We're going to do some, actually I could probably just keep this all on one line, because I'm only going to need to add one line, and then we'll do that again, but we're going to change this to more. This will be the upper left and lower right hand corners. These keys are so tiny. And then of course we need to just go through the list on the regular ones. We do the corners first though, because if we checked if only one thing was true, we would never ever get to the corners. You see what I'm saying? Like if x less and y less is true, but we were asking if x less is true first, then we're never going to get to that x less and y less. So we knocked that out of the way first. And then I'll go ahead. X more break. And then we just cheat and change those x's to a y. Alright, so now here's where we need to actually tell it what to do. And honestly, I forgot what to use. Where are you? I think it's going to be native window resize. Anyone class? Yes, it's going to be native window resize. So, oh, there's another thing we need to do real quick. Let's create a variable called register. and we'll make it a string, and it's going to equal null. And what we're going to do here is we're going to assign register if it's any one of these things. So if it's the upper left hand corner, then we need native window resize dot upper top left. And instead of writing all that again, I'm just going to copy this, paste it, and change those end constants. So this would be bottom right. This would be x-less will be left, and this will be right. And then we need top and bottom. Alright, so now we've assigned a value to register, and what we're going to do here is say if register does not equal null, then native window start resize register. And I think that's it. That should probably take care of everything. Let's see what we got. Save it. Bet you I got an error somewhere. Forgot it. Of course. Call the possibly unidentified. How is? Oh. Yeah, it's native window dot stage dot add event listener, where you just added an event listener to nothing. So we just hit that and that and that, and is that all of them? I think that's all of them. All right, yeah. All right, I don't think we're gonna have errors this time. All right, let's see. We hover here, got a little hand, moves it that way. Top, shrink it down. It's kind of hard to get though. I don't know. I'll probably have to tweak this a little bit, make it a little bit better. Yeah, that's hard to grab. But it does work. It's just kind of glitchy a little bit. Oh wow, that's not what I wanted. So it does work, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit complicated to actually get to grab it. You got to be kind of slow to make sure that it registers that you did something. And I'm actually kind of curious about something. I've got it set to where it can only go so small. Like I'm still holding it down, but it won't let me go any further, and that's actually exactly what I want. But yeah, see, without even letting go of the mouse, I'm able to just do whatever. So I don't know, that's something else that I'll have to address as well. And who knows, I might completely trash this idea and actually put physical bars here, and then on each bar give it the more or less this same functionality. I was really hoping I didn't have to do that though, because this is literally just a border. Like if we go to right here, we see that the line is flat with an offset, and it's using my theme body 3 color. So like, let's say that I just change this to red, right? Then hit it, the whole border should be red. Like we're literally not dealing with an element at all. We're just dealing with art. Yeah, I mean, it's just a, it's just a border to the square that I drew. But it should grab quicker and easier. I don't really like, it's kind of, that side seems to work well, but over here it's like, see, I'm over it, but it's not doing anything. That one's not so bad, I guess. But that didn't, that's like I grabbed it and it still didn't move. So, I don't know, I may need to reconsider my method here. I was really hoping that I could just create some kind of weird virtual space around the borders and handle this, but I'm not really liking the way that it's functioning. It seems it's just kind of hard to use. See, I'm right over it, but it's not doing anything. I'm even traveling the edge. Yeah, man, that's way too complicated just to scale it. I mean, scale's nice. Once you actually do grab it, it works well. But grabbing it is the problem. It should grab the second we're on the thing. Why isn't it registering that? That's what I want to know. In this case, Y is definitely more. So what's the problem? Why is Y more not working? Or struggling? Have our mouse over. We don't ever get rid of the mouse over, so that's constantly running. We get to this Y more. It's the bottom. I mean, that's all that does is tell it it registers which direction to move it in. Register should not equal null. I don't know. I really don't know why it's so junky. Maybe it's not that junky. Maybe this is the problem. No, that's still, it's like I have to go away and come back. And now it's stuck on hand. That's why I had that line before. See, we're stuck on the fucking hand, and there's no way to get rid of it. So yeah, we gotta have that other line. And I don't really see anything else I can do here. I mean, stage Y is less than, or if it's greater than stage height minus offset. Now, why would, I wonder, what if I went native window dots? There's a height for this native window somewhere. I just don't remember what it's called. It might just be height. Yeah, it really is height. Let's see what happens with that. Oh, that's even worse. Oh, there we go. But it didn't grab it. There we go. It's still too hard though. So I don't know. I don't understand why this just refuses to cooperate. You know what? I think I do. Move. No. Oh, right. It's not going to help unless I put this. And actually, if we're going to do it that way, then I need to say if w.stage.has events. Actually, if not. No. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong here. I'm sorry. What we need to do is on mouse move, we're adding a mouse down event, but we need to say if not. In other words, if this doesn't already have it, I don't want to add 5 million mouse events, mouse down events to one element. So let's try that. Ah, much better. Much better. The only thing I don't like about this is like a million times a second, it's tracking everything the mouse does. It's just more processes that are running all the time. But this does work a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it knows immediately for the most part. What about the corner? Yeah, I mean, that's a lot better. I really like that. There's probably some ways that I could tighten it up even a little bit more. Yeah, it's quick. That's the way, or that's at least the start of the way. Yeah. Well, let's take some more looks at this. Is there anything that I'm overlooking here? Like, I'm adding this mouse up listener. I should probably see if it already has one. And I mean, well, no, we already know it has it for that. I think that's it. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to actually keep this, but as you can see, we didn't target any elements. We sort of did. We targeted the stage itself, but we didn't have to create any new elements in order to make this work. It's all based on mouse positions, and all those mouse positions are going to fall in the border because the offset is the border size. So once we're outside of the border or inside of the border, you know, nothing's going to happen. We have to actually be on the border. So that's not a bad deal. I just turned nothing into something with mouse coordinates. And I'm not so sure I like this switch true right here. That's not really the best way to do that. There's probably a better way. I did it because I knew I could do it fast that way, where I could, and also I could make it to where it's very easy to understand. You know, it's switching through whichever one of these it comes upon first. That's true. And if none of those things are true, then the register will stay null and it won't run this. But the bottom line is one of them is going to be true because we already checked right here whether or not one of them was true. So I really don't have to. That's another reason why switch true is kind of good, because we do know that one of these is going to be true, and we just made a list of possibilities instead of all these like if. I mean, imagine if I did this with like a ternary statement or something. That would be a fucking disaster. Or there's if ways that I could do it without ternaries, but that would I don't know. No matter how I do it, you're looking at a nice big chunk here to assign register. That's just, I don't see any way around that. So yeah, I don't know. That's my little program for right now. I'm telling you right now, there's a high chance that I'm actually going to change this. I'm going to let it sit for now and use it for a while and see if I like it. But so far, I kind of don't like it. So we'll see. I really want to get the editor to a point where it's at least somewhat usable, and then sit down for a day or two and just use it. Just write some QC and really, you know, get the feel, you know, just test the whole app type of thing. Even if it's not complete, at least test what's already been made and polish up any loose ends and things like that. Speaking of that, actually, I did do some things. I don't know if y'all noticed, but in my other videos, I was having a problem. Wait, I want to do something real quick before I forget. Whoa. I can't remember what damn number this was. Theme body something. Let's try themes.body 4. Nope, it's 3. There we go. Y'all might have noticed in other ones that whenever I hit this minimize button, it would pop up a resize menu, right? A resize, restore, maximize menu right here that'd just be stuck there. I finally fixed that. That was a pain in the ass because the whole problem was stupid. It basically boiled down to I was doing that minimize event on a mouse down, but because of that, this button was capturing focus and the stage couldn't lose that focus. So it would go down and it would be minimized, but it would still have active stuff in it, so it would pop up that menu. So I had to change it to a click event, but it took me a little while to realize that that was what the problem was. Also, oh man, I can't move my mask. Basically, if I hit maximize here, this whole bar disappears now. You can't see it, but if I do it, you're still not, well, yeah, you're still not going to be able to see it because it's the same size as the area you can't see. You just have to take my word for it. If you maximize, the bar goes away. And I know what you're thinking, well, how the hell am I supposed to get back? just hit the escape key. Hit the escape key, it brings you right back. I wanted as much space on the screen as possible to code. Like, I mean, you notice you can't see the tabs. So that's a good indicator right there that, like, there's, like, pretty much everything you see, that's all typable area right there. From here to the end. You know, it's all code. You know, almost my whole screen. I only have just a little bit of space around the edges that y'all can't see. It's very, very little bit. Basically the size of the bar. And then you just hit escape and it goes right back. Brings you your bar back and everything. So there's that. What else did I do? Oh, I set the stage. Now I have it over here to where I know where the document tree is going to go, at least. That's the next thing I intend to work on. I've been kind of busy with some other stuff, but yeah, the document tree will go over there on the left. I still have the menu over here on the right. I've had some new ideas about this area, and I'm not sure if I intend to implement them or just stick with my first idea. My first idea being exactly how you see this now, with the exception of these boxes, which were just to help me indicate whether or not clicking was doing anything. But I do have some other ideas, and the bottom line is I actually can't completely get rid of the right-click menu. So that whole menu might have to be like a control right-click or something like that. Because I eventually, with IntelliSense, want to be able to like right-click over a function and say, and do like this. The best way for me to show you this is to just do it. Let's find a class that I invented. So this will work. Alright, say like base graphic, for instance. I can right click and see it says go to declaration, and then I click it, and now I'm in the base graphic class, right at the constructor. Well, I'm definitely going to have my editor do that, but there's no way to do that if I suppress the right click menu to a point where there isn't even a menu to use. So my whole idea of just right click and that's everything, that is not going to work. There has to be at least some context menu for a few things, and I mean there's other options here as well that I would like to add to my editor. Like, I don't care about these. I don't know anybody using this menu to cut, copy, and paste really, but like these things and duplicate line and duplicate selection, I want all that. I want almost everything that you see here. So I can't completely suppress the right click menu. I realized that the other day. So that whole big menu there, I'm gonna have to find out something else, because the bottom line is that there is not going to be a menu bar across the top here. That is never going to exist, period. No way around it, no doubt about it, never gonna happen. That's kind of the whole point of this, is to get rid of stuff like that. So I need to consider a different way. I mean, maybe, like I said, maybe like control right click will bring this up, or control M or something. I don't even want a button for it. I want there to just be like a quick keyboard shortcut or something, and we're done. And I have this black line here that doesn't belong, but I'm not sure where it's coming from. So I need to go find that, fix it. But anyway, that's it. We made a little function. We had a little fun. I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll be back later. Peace.